Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to International Smart Healthcare Forum. The forum will start in a few minutes. Just a reminder to you, we open for Q&A during the event. Please share your questions through Slido. Thank you for your cooperation. Hi everyone. Before we officially start, I would like to keep you a bit more casual. A little preview of the next upcoming event, which will be on July 22nd. We will be presenting anti-pandemic, smart hospital, and technology solutions against COVID-19 in Taiwan. In addition, for our Smart City online program, while transforming the event into a digitalized gathering, TCA and Taipei City Government will co-host the Smart City Mayor Summit as a series of web conferences involving world mayors to explore municipal initiatives together from across the world. Our first roundtable session will be taken on August 13th, hosted by Taipei City Mayor. Remember to stay tuned. Then we would like to share a video clip of online platform, Healthcare Smart Taiwan. Let's watch this video.
In order to integrate the capabilities and resources of medical care and ICT, the Joint Commission of Taiwan has established a platform named Health Smart Taiwan, also known as HST, for sharing the information of Taiwan's smart healthcare innovation. HST helps both healthcare and IT industries to find the resources and develop medical technology products that meet medical service needs. Moreover, HST provides a channel for these two high-tech industries to interchange and accelerate the development of Taiwan's smart healthcare and globalization. Taiwan has been developing smart healthcare for a long time. This can be attributed to two factors. First, we have a huge database of national health insurance. Second, we have a strong ICT industry. Taiwan has been recognized as the best healthcare systems in the world, which is according to CEO World. Based on that, I believe it can make Taiwan more competitive in the near future and bring substantial growth in the smart healthcare industry. HST can help hospitals to find the products that meet their individual needs, moreover, to find the solutions to deal with their problems. Taiwan has brought the international attention to its ICT accomplishment. Through the combination of the medical care industry, the contribution to mankind will transcend the previous Taiwan ICT industry. It is because of the popularity of ICT, Taiwan plays a key role in this field. After putting on a VR head-mounted display, regardless of whether you are performing neurosurgery or heart surgery, you can use VR to provide family members with an immersive experience that will ensure that they understand your explanation. Actually, at the Medical 4.0 stage, the operating room is most in need of integrated technology. The overhead Unicar electric track vehicle can completely separate used and unused instruments, reducing the risk of cross-infection and achieving the goal of zero contamination. It also puts our space and manpower to the best use. These medical transportation robots can shorten the time to 5 minutes. That lets nurses spend more time on caring for patients in the operating room. Currently, the time spent caring for patients has increased from 75% to 90%. The global smart healthcare trend is still going strong. Taiwan's healthcare industry is a key factor leading the Taiwan economy into renewed prosperity. HST is a platform that was developed by JCT that gathers smart healthcare resources from industry, government, academia, research institutions, and the medical sector, and also serves as a channel for international contact and interchange. It has brought Taiwan's healthcare industry to the world stage. The next step is to implement pioneering projects on precision medicine, which will accelerate the development of smart healthcare. Our future competitiveness will be based on outstanding ICT, an outstanding medical environment, and sufficient cooperation. We are confident we will achieve competitiveness at a high level.
After this session, please leave us some comment through the feedback survey, and you can reach the slides afterwards. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, our online distinguished guests and partners around the world, good afternoon. My name is Christine. On behalf of Taipei Computer Association, it's our honor to welcome you to the second session for International Smart Healthcare Forum, advised by Ministry of Health and Welfare and Taipei City Government, organized by Joint Commission of Taiwan and TCA. Today, in this session, we will present pandemic fighters' deployment of AIoT turnkey solutions to discuss how AI as well as smart technology is being used to combat COVID-19 and how Taiwan can help. It covers all aspects of healthcare and smart technology, including digital health, health informatics, artificial intelligence, and smart hospital, and so on. This live stream event encompasses keynotes, panel discussions, and live Q&A opportunities. Meanwhile, you will hear about the latest technology innovations from 3 prestigious smart hospitals for their applied experiences, as well as 2 leading enterprises for their industry perception. To discuss the crisis and the new technology utilizes to combat COVID-19, as well as what is under development. To begin with, we are pleased to invite Dr. Li, Director of Department of Medical Affairs and Planning from Taipei Veterans General Hospital, to give us an opening remark. Let's give a warm welcome to Dr. Li.
Good afternoon, everyone in here and around the world, especially those from United States, Vietnam, India, Indonesia, and Malaysia, and many friends maybe from the other part of the world. Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening. I am Dr. Li. It's my privilege to chair this session. It's a very interesting and very special, very unique experience to me, because although there are some people here, but I know there are more online. Today is June 17 in Taiwan. As of today, I know there are more than 8 million people in the world infected by the COVID-19. Among them, more than 430,000 deaths. This is the international crisis, not only for healthcare, medical service, but also for the human being. However, it's also a very important opportunity for our human being, because many countries, including Taiwan, we have adopted many new technology to fight and to battle the COVID-19 now and in the future. Taiwan takes credit in this pandemic control. It's not a sure luck, because we have prepared to fight the COVID-19 for 17 years after the SARS outbreak in 2003. And there are many consensus that why Taiwan can have such a good success. I think there are 3 main points. One is a government reorganization. We enhance the function of our Taiwan CDC. Second, there is a well-preparedness for our medical healthcare system. And the third, I think is the most important, is the public engagement. We have very high self-alert and self-disciplined citizens. We know when and how to wear the medical mask and to monitor our temperature and take care of our health. But very important is that Taiwan also is a very success using they call the civic technologies in this battle to the COVID-19. The government using the technology to track the people who the travel history abroad. And the healthcare system, we're using the AI and the IoT and other technology for early diagnosis. And our people, we can use the APP and many convenient applications on our cell phone to know where and how to buy the medical mask upon our request. Today, we are honored to invite 4 speakers from Taiwan to share our experiences. They are from our medical systems, from our IT industries. And I think after their discussion, we will have an open hour to exchange our experiences. We are very lucky because we adopt so many things, and so we can sit here. There's no lockdown in Taipei, and also no lockdown for any city in Taiwan. I know some of you are still in the pandemic system, in the pandemic. So we also want to share your experience. You can share your experience to us to know how to improve our experience this time. Because we know the COVID-19 is still very hard in the world. My personal explanation is that now it's just a break in the whole battle. So we need to well prepare for the next wave, the second wave of the COVID-19. And so we also please share your experience to us. It's a very good platform for our interactive actions. And so again, it's my honor to chair this session, and I wish all of us can learn and can contribute from this workshop. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lee. Dr. Lee, please remain on stage. Now I would like to invite our speakers for a photo session. Dear speakers, please come to the stage when you hear your name. Let's welcome Dr. Chen from Taoyuan General Hospital. Dr. Liu from National Chengdu University Hospital. Mr. Andy from Asus Cloud. And Mr. Jason from Imatech Company. Put your thumbs up. Now we'll bring some card for you. Smile. Thank you all the speakers. You may return to your seats. Thank you. And now, for our first presentation, I would like to welcome Dr. Chen, Deputy Superintendent from Taoyuan General Hospital, who will be talking about smart health IT to stop COVID-19 virus, AI and IoT to relieve the load of healthcare professionals in Taiwan. Let's welcome Dr. Chen.
Hello, everyone all over the world. I'm Dr. Chen from Taoyuan General Hospital. Taoyuan General Hospital is one of the biggest government hospital in Taiwan, but also the nearest hospital to the international airport. So my hospital almost the epicenter of the COVID-19 in Taiwan. Centuries ago, I know in Europe fighting against the diseases. I know everyone, so many people know the plague doctors. In centuries ago, when people fighting against the illness, the health workers have to dress like this one. Why? Because everyone afraid of this disease, but the doctors have to fighting against the illness. They have to treat the patient, so they need a special dressing to fighting against the disease. And nowadays, it's almost the same issues. So today, I want to show you under the modern technology, how can we fighting against the COVID-19. I prepare a very brief show to everyone, please.
早在武汉包机回台的那一刻，大家都屏气凝神，小心翼翼。对于这个陌生的新冠肺炎，除了过去 SARS 期间的隔离之外，还有的是自我的健康管理。能够做的就是医疗资源合理的分配，降低医护人员的负担。
病毒是兵分二路啊，一个呢是生理，一个是心理。那我们要团结，面对挑战来超前部署。
AIoT 与 COVID-19 防治，在隔离措施之下，对于疾病的监控及预测 COVID-19 疾病未来的发展变得极为重要。
所以你看，像在这个情境之下，你可以看到可能是一个医生，然后跟一个护士，他可以同时监控3个使用者。
那对于我们的手表来说，它原先就可以收集所谓的像血压、心跳，或是像连续性的所谓的心率变异这样的资料。那再透过我们所谓1对多的蓝牙的一个软体，那搭配我们的本来就发展非常完整的云端，那藉由跟 API 串接到医院的系统里面的时候，那所有即时的资讯就可以让医院做一个比较紧密、比较及时的掌握。
它在基本资料的回馈的部分，他们直接上传了之后，那其实对我们帮助是蛮大的，因为不会说在口语上面就是有一些错误，我们书写上登记上面就会有错误这样子，那其实就一目了然。
透过手表自动量测生理资料，再经过手机端的蓝牙上传，在医院端结合病人的资讯，并且保护病人的个资。
除了围堵病毒之外呢，更是要疏导人心。那透过我们整个科技的应用呢，也达到了领导、沟通跟协调的一个作用。那透过这个科技呢，更是要我们彼此信任，那么自律、利他，回到正常的一个生活。
藉由资料分析，建立 AI 分析的模型，提供给医师作为判断病情发展的参考。尤其是筛检出有 COVID-19 重症的高风险病患，及早给予重症治疗，挽救病人的性命。
那我们其实可以利用这个大数据的分析，也知道说，哪一些病人他可能是持续有发烧的一个状况，好，那他可能是属于比较高度危险性的一个情形，哈，那所以在防疫的帮助里面呢，哈，这都可以减少我们人员就是持续的进出去暴露病人。
我们始终相信科技来自于人性，在团队的合作之下，能让疫情归零。归零哦。
Okay, next slide, please. During this period, in Taiwan, almost 13% of the cases contracted with COVID-19 was admitted to our hospital. It's almost 1/6 of the patient, but more than almost 300 people admitted to our negative pressures isolated wards. So it means Taoyuan Hospital, we serve the most people suffer from the COVID-19. So it also high pressures to our medical staffs. These people, so we need to quarantine them, but we also provide the best service to them. So how can we deal with these issues? And the people also want to ask themselves, when they suffer the COVID-19, they just die alone or can get treatment with doctors and the families. But unfortunately, a lot of people admitted to our isolated ward, they always ask the questions like this: I will be isolated to die. And who will kill me? COVID-19 or alone myself? Under the scenario, we work with the ASUS and telecom companies. We try to introduce the smartwatch and smartphones to provide the solution for the patients and our staffs. We also have some efforts on the medical treatments too. But the smartwatch and the smart cell phone, they provided a service since almost 2 weeks after the first case is admitted to the hospital. All the set is including the smartwatch, mobile phones, and the relative things. When a patient admitted to the hospital, we help them to get the QR code to join the group. And we will introduce them how to use the smartwatch and the smartphone. So people can through the smartwatch and to get the health conditions through the smartphones. And our staffs in the wards, they can get all the information from our hospital information system. Of course, they also can contact with our medical staffs through the social media, such as LINE. This is a system architecture. We get the information from quarantine wards, and the data will send to the ASUS cloud. And then the information will be sent to the hospital. For the privacy issues, all the information will be aggregated together in the hospital. It means all the data will be shown just only the hospital. And our medical staffs, they have to use smart medical cards. When they log in, they just use it to approach the systems. Nowadays, the system also deployed to the other hospital. But all the servers and all the data now was storage in the Taoyuan General Hospital. We are the center for these systems. So information get from the smartwatch and through the smartphone to the ASUS cloud. And ASUS will pass through some artificial intelligence algorithm to show what is under the red flag, who is as normal. And they send the data to the Taoyuan General Hospital. In the Taoyuan General Hospital, we combine all the information, data from the ASUS and the patient's data. So by two part of the data, it could be the useful data to help our doctors and nurses to take care of the patient. This is the cases. And we also found the patient will be very interested about this system. Why? Because they want to know his health status in first hands. They want to get the information from the others. So through the watch, through the mobile phone, they can visualize what's happened to him. And when they found that his health condition improved, he shows very happy. But also sometimes he found himself is suffered fevers or uncomfortable. They also know how to deal with it. We also implemented the management platform in our intra-hospital systems. Our staffs can approach the system through like this interface. And we also modify it into the visualized interface. So our staff will be very easy to approach every patients. They can know it very easy. And this is a patient list. For example, our staffs can know there are 4 people now his condition need more noticed. And it's like an early warning system. We can approach the patients and then know what has happened to them. And this is the details. Such like this is visualized data, because most of the patients, they were admitted to our hospital almost 4 to 6 weeks. It means almost 30 to 40 days. The longest one is around almost 30 days. 30 days. So we have a long period of observation for the vital signs. They will help the doctors and nurses to know the trends of the diseases. And people also can put their conditions into the system by themselves. Someone will ask me why you do not do it all by the computers. But now we use some conditions. They have to put their health condition like a small surface. They will help a patient to alert about themselves, their conditions. And if they have any questions, they can through the social media to ask any questions to our staffs. And our staff also through the mobile phones can answer the question to them to comfort their mood. So also release the tensions. And the other cues is our mobile phone also can provide the provide the videos, news to the patients. So the patients in isolated world, they will not so boring. They can enjoy the wonderful worlds in Taiwan. So by this system, not just only for the quality of the health care, but also improve the patient to engage their health care. In the future, so we hope to extend this program to the first part where it extend to long-term care to approach the patient in the communities. But the second part, so we'll develop the early warning systems inside the hospital, because we need intense care through the wearable devices, because they provide more closely observations for the vital signs of the patients. We also hope the modern technology will help us to provide a high quality of the health care. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Chen, for your presentation. Next, I want to welcome Dr. Liu, Director of Clinical Medicine Research Center from National Chengdu University Hospital, who will be speaking on trilogy in quarantine station, how NCKU and hospital can help by AI smart medicine. Let's welcome Dr. Liu.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening for everyone. I'm Dr. Liu from Chengdu University, Tainan, Taiwan. Today is my pleasure and my privilege to share our experience regarding the front line of the pandemic condition. That is a quarantine station in our hospital. As Dr. Chen has mentioned, we are very careful about their care in the ward. But now, usually we fight with the disease in outside of the emergency room. So my challenge is some kind of 3 steps. So our NCKU, that is our university, and a hospital, that is our associate hospital, we work together to fight for the COVID-19 pandemic condition. So I'm the director of the clinical medicine. We are doing a research on the clinical one. So I was appointed to working on this kind of task during the Lunar New Year of the Taiwan. It's a very tough task, I have to say. So this is the condition that I think Dr. Lee has mentioned is a pandemic condition right now. But initially in Taiwan, we are knowing about this disease maybe during the Lunar New Year. I think everybody remember that. So this is the global case and the global deaths. They're increasing day by day. Taiwan did a good job, I think. But I think most of our regions, they are still under the suffering from the pandemic condition right now. So in our NCKU hospital, we start from the Lunar New Year 2020. Our superintendent, Dr. Sen, has mentioned to me that we have to face this emergency infectious disease with science and the professional. So this is the two words that we are keeping in our mind. This kind of a novel emergency infectious disease, I believe, they will come as a routine one. So every few months or few years, they will come to us again with a different face. So we have to do it with the science and the professional. This is the command center in our hospital. We developed with 6 screens. So they are showing the condition in the world, in Taiwan, in our hospital, and also the mask number of our hospital. We have to take about how many masks we have, and how many patients we have, and how many patients has visited to the quarantine station that we set out of our emergency room. So 3 steps we have mentioned. One is in advance. We have to take action in advance. We have to plan in advance. And we have to take care of patients also in advance. The second one is quarantine. So usually quarantine means that you have to be isolated in your home, in the hospital. But now here I mentioned about the quarantine, that is the house out of our hospital, near the emergency room. And finally, we have an AI assistant system in our diagnosis or history taking. That will be easier for our staff to pass this period of time. So the downside of the figure is our team that we have a everyday meeting, including Sunday, in our hospital from 7:30. And our superintendent usually attend at 7:20. So we have to attend around 7:18, I think, 18, right? So everybody get together and we have made decision. We have made every kind of step or strategy here. So this is our hospital. Why we need a quarantine station? I think most of our hospital in Taiwan, they set up a quarantine station. This is our hospital. Although we stay in Tainan, we still have a crowd of patients and staffs here. So this is the number of patients we have. In the outpatient, we have more than 5,000 people every day. And inpatient, we have 300 beds, and we have 3 cases a day. So we set up a smart Q hospital out of our emergency room. Some people have calculated that the people concentration, the number of the people around this area is more than the department store in Tainan. So it's very important to isolate a suspicious case out of our hospital. So we set up a COVID-19 smart Q station here. We have 3 episodes. The first episode is set up 5 one-time tents. So the upper one, you can see there are several tents here. It's for emergency. So we just rent some tents here and Q station under emergency immediately. The episode 2, we use a tablet computer. The idea comes from our superintendent because we have been trained to use the tablet computer for our precision medicine in our hospital. And now they try to use this kind of tablet computer in the tent to help our faculty to facilitate our TOCC, travel, occupation, contact, and other histories. We cannot remember so much about the guidelines. So we built out the algorithm in the tablet computer. We bought 10 tablet computer, I remember. And the third episode, we have an AI-assisted pneumonia interpretation system. There is a design from our staff, from the radiologist, and also the chest physician. And also, finally, our government updated a lot of decision-making guidelines every day. They change every day because the location for the patient who comes from China, they change every day. So we have to change the guideline every day. Then we change the guideline every day. So everybody can use the updated guideline every day. Now, this is the first generation of our Q station. You can see there is a very crowded, and the space is very limited. So they have to wear this kind of heavy PPE, and then they try to communicate with the patient. Unfortunately, the patient cannot hear you because you wear a lot of masks. So it's not easy to have a detailed history taken. So we set up a TOCC history in the tablet, and the patient put on the history by themselves. And this is also another way we avoid the contact cross-infection. There is I think there is a ship. There are some ships, and the travels over the ships, they have a lot of questionnaire from them. And then finally, they collect all the papers. Who knows? There will be virus on the papers. So we set up this kind of system that patient can use their own tablet, and we have a disinfection procedure after their performance the questionnaires. So this is our first generation, and because it's a very high mental pressure, and also the patient need to wait, because we have to remember every steps. And when the physician try to make a diagnosis and also the X-ray diagnosis, they take a lot of time. So patient usually wait there for a long time. And finally will be the possible cross-infection. And the downside, you can see a lot of guidelines from Taiwan. So for these kind of reasons, we try to set up a smart Q station like this one. So this is a temporary, but now it's still going on. It's a Q station for our patients who suspected or who just travel from foreign countries. And this is from from February 6th. And then they also have some air condition there, so they feel much better. So can you show the can you show the video? It's in Chinese, but everybody can understand that. So this is our system. The condition change every day, so we have a lot of guidelines from our government, and they have to change every location. Then you cannot remember this one. That is why we have to automatic e-chart system.
那提交之后，像这个有没有接触到群众？
I show you some of the figure here. So this is a system where you log in. There will be a lot of questions for you, and finally we make a decision based on your questionnaire. And whether they have to need a text X-ray or not. So this kind of system can avoid the cross-infection and very detailed history from the patients. Because the system is very complicated, so by the computer system, we help our physician or our nurses to decide which way they should go. And finally, our radiologists help us to set up the AI system in our PACE system. So when the physician, for the radiologist, they have the information that we have to make a diagnosis whether this is pneumonia or not, and they can click on the system. This system will tell you how possibility there will be. For example, this one is 82%. There will be high possibility. This is Dr. Tsai. She's explaining this kind of purple area is a high risk for pneumonia. Everybody can use this system if you have a X-ray diagnosis. Okay, so we have a very complicated, maybe 30 times of update guidelines. Nobody can remember so many guidelines. And also we face another question, that is language. So in Taiwan, we use Mandarin, use Taiwanese, right? So there are many foreign visitors and workers here. So we set up a multi-language. We have 7 languages, including Vietnam, Indonesia, Japan, Korean, and now recently we add on the Taiwanese system. It's by voice. So this is a Chinese version. After you answer all the questions, we have a summary for you and follow physicians. This is the English version. So when they have visitors, we also have a summary for them. For example, here, look into the red box. The X-ray room, no pneumonia. And do we have to report to the CDC? No. Follow to our patient. They can have a health manager at home after discharge. A recommendation, nasal swab, or self-care. This will be our recommendation for these patients from the system instead of patient from the physician themselves. This kind of system, we have some competition internationally. Dr. Jiang, who lead this kind of team, and they got the first prize, I think. They are also on the website of the international one in the WHO. So this is kind of a system that we get information from the X-ray is open resources. And also we have set out a program aimed to diagnose the pneumonia and communicate it with our AI technicians. So this kind of system has been developed and will be used in our hospital. So for example, this kind of purple area, that is a pneumonia patch, and the possibility is 88.8%. There will be a very high possibility. And then even though you are not sure it is pneumonia, you can say that he has pneumonia by the AI system in our hospital. For example, this is the X-ray one. If I'm not a physician, usually I will not recognize very well. And system help you with a purple region, and this is the pneumonia patch. So this patient finally be diagnosed as a COVID-19 one. So luckily, we have this system to rescue if the patient, the physician get tired or their eyes get missed by the mask. So if patient come to our Q station, we have a registration, take vital signs, and also we have wireless transformation for the vital sign, just as Dr. Chen has mentioned. We have wireless transmission to our system, and the physician decide to have an X-ray or not. AI confirm the pneumonia diagnosis, and this decision will assisted by our system. So totally there will be like 20 minutes. So initially, how do you think the time will take? They will take like 80 to 120 minutes. Because of this kind of system, we reduce the history taking. We also accelerate the AI image interpretation, and also we release the manpower of the clinical decision making. Then we will reduce to 20 to 30 minutes. So this is our number. So before the Q station, the average will be like 160. And then they reduce after Q station division. And finally, with the app from the AI system, we will further reduce the time for patients who stay in the Q station. Nobody wants to stay in the Q station, believe me. So I think there was some rubber here. So in the future, we are going to collaborate with some rubber, so they can also help us to communicate with the patient. If you want to go to the Q station with a rubber, or you are a physician with a PPE, I believe you like to contact with a rubber. So there will be a very good chance to incorporate this kind of system. And in a world very similar to Dr. Chen has mentioned, we have a lot of the system. I don't think we have time to talk about this one. And finally, I have a colleague. She is a neurologist, and she was ordered to go to the Q hospital. And in her Facebook, he told me that she was very afraid of going to the Q station because she cannot remember so many guidelines. When she went to the Q station, she felt very comfortable because we set out everything for her. So just have a little bit sweat, but finally she finished her job. So from smart TOCC to rubber and the AI interpretation, actually we have a watch to monitor our body temperature. So this kind of system, maybe we are ready for the re-attack of the COVID-19, but I hope we will not face these kind of questions. So these are our team members. I think AI and the infectious team in our NCKUH help a lot in setting up this kind of system. And I thank NCKU and NCKU Hospital for their great support and taking care of our Tainan city. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Dr. Liu, for your presentation. Our next speaker will be Mr. Andy, Smart Health Director, General Manager Office from ASUS Cloud, who will be speaking on telehealth combined with technology application after COVID-19. Let's welcome Mr. Andy.
This year, I think we just all experience the most memories in our life together, right? Because the virus attack our body. But I think it's not only attack our body, it's also attack our heart, right? Okay. So we have to take more considering regarding what is the human behavior after the virus after. Okay. So I want to share some kinds of the scenario, the solution after the COVID-19 for the technology application, especially for the telehealth integration, okay? The first one, everyone have to know, most of people, we don't want to go to hospital, okay? Even National Chengdu University here, okay? Yeah, so we want to stay at home. Why? Because for the general, we have 5 pain points here. First one, impractical to move, okay? Second, inconvenient transportation. 2, lack of energy, private issue, right? It's basically the general, the human behavior for the humanity after the COVID-19. But currently, we are the 2 pain issue here. First one, fear of being infected for the medical environment, right? Yeah, we are afraid. Another one, group infection, okay? Infection for the group. Okay, so you can see here, the first one, fear of being infected in a medical environment, okay? We just afraid the virus close to us, okay? Another one is a group infection, okay? So we keep the distance between you and me. The virus attack our heart, okay? So the post-virus trend and the business is happening here. You can see that. We call it Jai Jingji, okay? Home economic happen, grows up, stronger. Another one, use for medical equipment, right? Because I want to go to hospital, I want to at home and to test more the body, the pressure, to take the heart, ECG, the heart rate at home. Yep, safety, okay? So use for the medical equipment grows up. Finally, a company value is happen, okay? So we just take more of the considering how to use our the advantage like Vivo watch here. The Vivo watch can detect our heart rate, okay? Also blood pressure, also SpO2 okay, and the GPS include in here. And we also have the Zembo, our robot, we call the 小布. Hey, 小布，你在干嘛？
我在等着你的爱。
Okay. Yep. 看前面. Okay, so currently we just a cooperation. We just cooperation with NTU, National Taiwan University, AI the Robotic Center. We co-work together to design some kinds of interactive the application in this robot. Okay, so here. Okay, so you can see that. What is our TA, target audience? The first one, solitary, lonely, death. Because only one people and at home, I'm so lonely, right? And wait for death. Yeah, it's terrible. Another one, patient with chronic disease, right? And after COVID-19, the healing patients. Okay, it's very important. Okay, and there is our TA. Of course, the most of the people, most of group, we have the self-protection. Okay, to self-protection. So it's our the target audience. Telehealth, the total solution package, we come here. We come out here. The first one, we use the smartwatch to detect the vital sign, like that, introduce it to you, to everyone, like the heart rate, the blood pressure, SpO2, okay? We can do that. And continue to detect it, okay? And send the information via the cloud to the after server to do some analysis and to feedback, to push the message to your cell phone, okay? Another one, we use the robot. We call this one is a Zembo Junior. The robot can do passive discussion. Also, it's a very important active interaction. Okay, what kind of the function he can do that? I will show you next page. So we also have the medical, the AIoT, the platform here. Okay, we have calculation, the analysis, application, management, and also based on the machine learning, deep learning, and the algorithm here. Okay, so you can see that the medical, the IoT, we can do the home measurement, medical the device, the detection here. It's a very important. If the device, even the watch, the wearable devices or the robot, just only provide the very professional the function. They don't have the entertainment, right? It's no interesting. Entertainment is very important if you at home, right? So Xiaobu also have some kinds of the social function value here. Okay? So telehealth solution methodology, what is the telehealth solution methodology here? First one, hospital, home, we go through use for the robot, okay, medical material to do some signal detection, then use the Bluetooth to transmission for the signal, okay, the Vivo watch, go through for the cloud. And then we also have the facial recognition system, include the AI here. Okay, so Xiaobu is very smart, okay. Yeah, and we have 8 of the health management function. First one, temperature. The wearable can continue to detect your temperature, body temperature, okay, and also heart rate. Heart rate can monitor the elder is dead or alive, okay. It's very important. And blood pressure. Okay, is the 舒压 reduce the pressure and sleep quantity, activity, ECG, and 小布 also can do the questionnaire. Okay, you can set up, and he can ask you some kinds of the item. 例如比如说你今天心情好吗 ？Okay, how about your feeling today? Do you happy today like this? Then can go through for the AI, can do some analysis. You feel not so good today. Okay, you are okay. You just angry or you relax. The 小布 can do some analysis and can feed back the information to the backup server. Okay. We also have the reinforcement learning. It's very important. Include geofence. Okay. After the COVID-19, even during the COVID-19, the user at home, how to know the patient at home, right? Oh, so we can use the wearable and use the geofence. If you go to outside, can send a signal to the hospital, to the police office. Okay, everyone can know. You go out. Okay, you are not at home. Okay, so we have a geofence system. We also have the big database, can do some analysis. And I say that is very important for the social entertainment. You can ask 小布 the weather, the news, the camera, okay, message, music, YouTube. Okay, you can call 小布 play music. Okay, 小布 can do some interactive with you. Like this, video chat. Okay, your parents. Okay, you can go through for the 小布 to do some video chat with your father, your mother. If they are only one people at home, you can talk with them. Okay, to go through for the 小布. So monitoring, okay, can do some of the social chat, okay. So it's a whole the picture for the methodology for the telehealth solution philosophy as ASUS can provide it currently. Okay, so finally I want to say that one bridge. 科技应用必须来自于人性。The application of technology must come from human nature. But 医疗的未来则必须仰赖于科技。The future of healthcare must rely on technology. Okay? Thank you. 小布，嘿，小布，你睡着了？
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Andy, for your presentation. Then I want to welcome Mr. Jason, Business Development Manager from Imatech Company, who will be speaking on preparing AIoT solutions for healthcare's paradigm shift. Let's welcome Mr. Jason.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jason, and I'm here today represent Imatech. And also, we are very glad to be invited by JCT and the TCA to share our experience and what we learned from the period of the COVID. And also, we want to provide our experience, how we feel the AIoT solutions can help and speed up the paradigm shift for the next generation of the healthcare. And I believe most of the Taiwanese see this picture, and we're also very exciting because until now, I believe we have more than 65 days without the local infection case. So the Yuanshan Hospital, Yuanshan Hotel shows a 0. It's encouraging every people when we passing the highway. But what's the next? Everybody right now in the world is thinking about how we facing the next step. Can we be quarantined for a long time? It's impossible. And how we going to reboot the economy? And this picture is from the Google. Okay, so at the right-hand side, you can see there's a full quarantine. It shows the horizontal is the economic speed, and the vertical is the reopen, the mobility speed. So it divides all the countries, the policy. And for example, like the right-hand side, the bottle, and some of the countries, they are still have the very low mobility, but they encourage the people just go outside to keep the economic growth. It could be dangerous, but that's the different policy. And the other case is the government keep everybody stay at home. They want to have the very clean environment first, and then to reopen. And of course, there are some countries, they have the very good job, like Taiwan. We still can keep the very high mobility. Everybody can go outside. We keep the business growth every day. And also, we have very remarkable achievement. So such a low infection cases. And so in the period of these few months, we heard a lot of these keywords. Quarantine, zero contact, social distance, new normal. I think it will continue coming in the future. And I want to share 3 of our major funds from the COVID. The first thing is we do believe the telemedicine will have the significant growth because the COVID. It will become the very standard procedure for the healthcare system. And also the contactless control system will be a choice. The second thing is what's in case it happen again. Just like the Chengdu University, we prepare for the next wave. And we don't know it's coming from the COVID or the other disease. So how we prepare for the emergency medicine service just in case. Of course, the third thing is the new normal life. Okay, how we going to get used to it and what kind of the solutions we can help us to face for the new normal life. Okay, so the first thing is the telemedicine. We do believe that hospital deploy the telemedicine already a lot. At the very early the COVID period of time, we joined the conference called HIMSS. I think it's very big in IT, a medical IT system from United States. We plan to join the exhibition at March, early March. We saw the news that Trump is going to have the speech, but just 2 days before the opening, they just noticed us it's being closed. We just released, finally they go off for the HIMSS. But HIMSS turned into a lot of the online seminar, online virtual meeting. And we saw they have the very, very simple telemedicine system, even just a card with a pad. But the key is fast. They deploy the system very fast. They want, at a very early stage, they just control all the situation for the quarantine room from everywhere. But of course, we improve the system to become the medical grade. We have the medical card, we have the medical, the computers. More important is we develop the software. Actually, this case is we use at one of the hospital case, operation room. We integrate the PACE system, the vital sign system, and some of the other equipment, the data, into one screenshot. Because we want to provide the doctor and the team in the operation room, they can have all the information in the same page and from the different position of the operation room. Because of the COVID, so we move this system and we downsize the system to design in this medical card. Just like in the quarantine room, it can also connecting with the other system. You will have the very fast can deploy with the mobility, with the flexibility, even with the battery. So we can deploy outside the hospital and connecting all the equipment inside the quarantine room immediately. That's our target. Of course, when we found that the doctor, they're within the groove, and of course the panel is touchable, it can be clean, but we want to move forward. We introduced the gesture recognition system and voice command system, helping the doctors. They even no need to touch the system. Use your hand, use a voice. Just a few very quick hotkey command, so they can control the system immediately. Actually, it's happening. It's also demo in our company and also deploy in the hospital operation room right now. And we just want to share our experience. The contactless will become a new choice for the different control model system. And the other control-less idea is for the age center and also inpatient ward. And we know that the age center and the ward usually is the most serious infection area. Just like the case in the United States, near the Washington, is the first case in the age center. We see that it's kind of sad because all the elderly people, they're lying right there. And if the caring team, they don't have the patient, or they don't have the time to take care of all the aged people, how can we use the technology to help them? For example, if they want to leave the bed, how do we know? If they're falling down, how do we know? Of course, the wheeling device is a good choice. And we also want to provide the other solution is contactless, and just try all the possibility to reduce the infection possibility. Okay, and so in this case, we also develop in the hospital and also at the center at Taiwan. We use the sensor. It's not a camera, so it's no private issue. You can deploy on the wall, you can deploy on the restroom, okay, you can deploy on the aisle, so we can monitor, but you don't know who she or he is. I think it's a very helpful solution. And it's also helping, we are promoting to the Canada, the Vancouver area, because they know the case from Seattle, so they are kind of nervous for the age center for introducing this system. Okay, the second topic is just in case. Okay, what's the emergency system for just in case? And I think the idea is quite similar as the Dr. Liu just shared from the Chengdu University. How we build a very fast deployed system can have the immediately surgical or the basic infection checking system. The case is we work with Japan partners. Actually, this container, they design the container because they want to use a truck, can move all around the Japan. The idea is not for COVID, the idea is for the Olympic game. And the Olympic game cover from Hokkaido to Tokyo to almost all the Japan major city area. But what's in case if they have some serious surgical issue? How can they help? So they design the very efficiency, the container system. And they have the different, like the building block. You can combine the two building block. One is ward, the other is operation room, something like that. Because the container system, you need to use the 5G, you need to use the GPS, and it's a good choice, it's a good timing, because this is new technology, is quite mature right now. But the Olympic game is postponed. So we switch this system to become the infection checking area. So we divide the container at two sides. The one side is for doctor, the other side is for the patient. So we use the system to help them to communication, guiding them to take the sample, and using some of the contactless control system. And I think, and the Japanese partners, they would like to suggest the government to use it as a basic standard procedure. What's the case if the tsunami is coming again? What in case the earthquake is coming again? So just in case for the emergency system. And the third topic is the new normal life. We are kind of familiar to wash hand, to clean our hand, to wear the mask every day. But could we shorten this procedure? Can can we providing all these system solution to become a single system and don't need to separate in the different part. In this case is infection disease prevention Gait. We develop in the hospital in middle part of the Taiwan right now. The idea is very simple. Actually is using everywhere, every day. For example, the first thing is use the infrared to check your body temperature. Okay, the second thing is the facial recognition to identify your ID to checking. Okay, and the third thing is when you pass the gate, you will have the air shower and also using the liquid to disinfection at the hand area and the shoes area. But this system is very useful because it's easily to deploy to make sure, because you control the environment, to guiding all the people passing through this gate, so you can make sure they finish all these three procedures. Okay, so the idea is not new, but how to connecting all these systems to become a very useful solution is a key. Of course, the next thing is to take the vital sign, and we are very glad to have the wearable device, and we're glad to have the infrared. But most of the hospital systems, they still rely on the traditional, like the body temperature, the blood pressure system, and like in our company, we take the temperature every day. At the very beginning, we're writing down. The HR asking us to monitor the body temperature, and the boss say that, hey, since we are the IT company, should we take all the data go to the cloud? So we collecting all our employees' body temperature, even blood pressure, more than 3 months already. So that means we have the big data. We have the big data. HR, they can monitor all the employees' health status, and it's true because the student go to the school, they're doing the same thing every day. And some of the government, they're doing the same thing every day. So why don't we just use this opportunity to upgrade all the vital sign system to become the cloud-based, so we can have the very complete data. More important, it's very useful for the next step analysis. And this case is for the medicine management, or we can say for all the consumable, for all the equipment, small components, management system. It's used for the control medicine, high price medicine before, but because the COVID, one of the hospital, they switch this system to the quarantine area because they want to calculate how much the consumable, the medicine is using. So they will have the immediate data to understand when they need to supply. And more important is they don't have to passing through the hospital all again. So everything is separate by the quarantine and the not quarantine. Okay, so it could be another idea how to decentralize all those medicine or the consumable management. Okay, so the last thing is a robot. We also provide a robot, but our idea is for the hospital, reduce their very heavy loading job, reduce the passing through the quarantine area, and also using the robot to do the disinfection using the UV light, something like that. Okay, so it's quite popular right now, and we do believe it will. One of the case we just recently discovered with hospital, even they use a robot arm at the OR room to take the box because it's a very busy working center and also very heavy working loading. So we believe the automation will also be very popular in the future at the hospital. Okay, so that's my last page. I want to emphasize again, because the Taiwan had a very strong IoT technology and also very strong the healthcare experience. And we believe combine these two strengths, we can helping the healthcare system to upgrade to the new paradigm. And it's happening, and COVID will speed it up. So I think it's a very good opportunity to share our idea to you, and hope we can work together to make it happen sooner. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Jason, for your presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, our presentation session has come to an end. Later, we will start a panel discussions in 3 to 5 minutes. And we will start again. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Now we are going to begin our panel discussion session. From now on, I'll hand over the moderator to Dr. Lee. Let's welcome our host, Dr. Lee.
Good afternoon. Thank you for all the speakers this afternoon. And actually, they share their great experience to all of us this afternoon. And according to the panel guideline, and there are 3 questions. Maybe we will start for ice breaking, and then we are continue collecting your questions, and we also want to please also join our discussion. The first is about using the AIoT technology and keeping the safe social distancing and keeping the safety of our medical personnel. But someone will worry about, well, can we also keep the humanized care? Because you say technology is very important. In the future, we rely on technology, but also we want a warm technology. And so otherwise, to the keeping the social distancing and the safety of medical personnel, how do we also keep the humanized care? And is any comment from Dr. Liu?
Okay. I think this is a very critical and very controversial answer for all of us, because when we taking care of patients, physician or staff, they suffer from a lot of stress, and also they have to wear their PPEs. It's not easy to balance the humanity and also the so-called social the distance or non-touching care in this kind of regarding. Sometimes we try to avoid the attempts that our physician or our nurses visit the ward, but if patients just keep alone there, they are very lonely, and they need someone to discuss with her. And sometimes they got some information, they were very stressed, because I have one patient who stay in the quarantine room, and we told her that your father also positive for the COVID. So then he also have to isolate again. And suddenly the stress become very very huge for her. So at that time, we tried to contact her and try to visit her more times. So in this regard, I think we need to take care about their feelings, especially who are already quarantined there. And our policy is that although we try to avoid the attempt to the quarantine room, however, if necessary, we still have to do that. And I think non-touching is our dream, but sometimes we need some touching at that time.
Okay, Dr. Chen, please.
Yes, I think for the most medical staffs, how to provide the best service to the people in the quarantine room is a key issue. But I think in our experience, I want to say how to put the patient engaged in the medical teams. If we can engage a patient into the medical teams, it means that patients knows the medical plans. We can discuss any steps about the patient care programs, and even they knows how the progress in his or her diseases and medications. And then the other ways in nowadays, because most of people communicate with the social medias, so we can try to use social media to let the patient to know the first hand information for themselves. We know under these conditions, most of people is quite loneliness and fearness. So we try to put it together, put it into the medical team. I think this will be the best way to humanity's care. Yes.
Maybe I need to ask Xiaobu. Xiaobu, how do you think about my question? Let me ask your boss.
So small.
How about Mr. Li? How in your design, I think this is a very good example. Sometimes you can only use a microphone or use a camera, but you design like a robot, a very cute robot. So this is the design, just to add some humanized factor into your technology. So in terms of the application of the ICT industry to our medical services, I think humanized design is also a very important issue. How do we think about that?
Yes, like everyone to see that the Xiaobu, okay? The Xiaobu, the function is a signal. The function is a simple, okay? Just a, sorry. The Xiaobu, the function just very simple, and they don't have too much more the function, but we can depend on the like the medical, the people like doctor or like the some kinds of university, okay? They can do they can input some kinds of the algorithm, some kinds of philosophy in the Xiaobu. They can Xiaobu do everything, okay? Basically, Xiaobu is a default, basically the function only, okay? But we can depend on like the post of the COVID-19, right? Do some of the health care, okay? Telehealth for the medical, okay? Xiaobu can do some of the interactive is very important. Interactive is very important. Not only passive, okay, not only passive, the behavior, the interactive, active, the behavior is very important for the Xiaobu. Meanwhile, we are consider how to improve the user, the interesting, okay? If they at home and they want to go to like the medical environment, okay? So entertainment is very important, okay? Not only for the medical is not so boring, okay? So entertainment also can include like the YouTube, play the music, reading book, okay? They can do something interactive. I think it's very important to improve the user to use the telehealth. Telehealth, I think, is the future, right? Yeah. Okay.
So follow your answer that in our NCKU, Dr. Jiang Rongxian, they also implement our questionnaire in the Zenbo.
Okay.
So at first, we try to have two ways. The one way is by the tablet computer, and the other one we try to use a Xiaobu there. And that depends on which one they choose. I think most of the young people, they choose this one. And the old people, they use the tablet one. And that will be very interesting to see how they respond to the Xiaobu or something. But unfortunately, when we set up the system, the pandemic seems a little bit quiet in Taiwan, so we don't have a chance to compare directly. But I think in the future, it will be very interesting to see the interaction for those who has been suspected to have COVID-19. That will be very interesting.
Exactly, yep.
Mr. Miao, actually in your presentation, I'm very impressed to the remote medicine system you have designed in some places. But in Taiwan, actually, because we have very convenient service system, so remote medicine in Taiwan actually didn't play its role, I think, at least at the first wave of the pandemic. But maybe it's important in the next wave. So in terms of about the humanized factor, some of my patients, even me, because I presented for the remote medicine for the government, but I think when I talk to a camera, and my patient is maybe 1,000 miles away from me, I feel strange, and so does for my patient. So how do you improve that?
Okay, I think truly because Taiwan supposed to be use this kind of IoT technology most serious in the healthcare system, but most of our idea is to helping the doctor to improving for the patient safety, to improving the quality of the caring. But there's another keyword is patient experience. How we gonna to improving for the patient experience? I think Xiaobu is one of the case. We do have the other case in United States. Yeah, we use the 42-inch the e-papers because United States the government they asking you need to have the interface to allow the patient and their family member to express their feeling every day. For example, like the pain management, for example, like the communication board. So the point is to starting from the increasing patient experience. I think it's another thing we need to consider when we using this technology. Yeah.
I think the user friendly is a very important issue even for the infection control for the patient. And after this international crisis in medical service and healthcare, I think many things changed. So we said that we will work and even live with the COVID-19, maybe in the next future, maybe months or years, I don't know. But what do you expect we will change, Dr. Chen, for our medical service after we saw the post-COVID-19 year? Hopefully post, but maybe just in the break, as I mentioned earlier, what do we expect the technology can help you in the post-COVID-19 year?
After this pandemic of the COVID-19, I think the behavior of the patient, peoples, and the staff, I think it will be changed. The first one, the people, they will be very careful. The first, they will be careful to the hospital because they already be educated. The hospital is one of the pandemic centers. So when they go to the hospitals, they will be use the mask and also provided travel histories, even the career histories by themselves. I think it is good for the public health. And the second is about the medical staffs. Nowadays, our medical staffs already know we have to check the history of the patients. I think the most important is to prevent any possibility of the transmission of the diseases. So you check in the histories to observe the sign and the symptom of the patients. I think for the medical staffs, they know almost every details about it. And I think the most important is from this experience during the past months. the doctors and the nurses and all the medical staff, we have confidence to deal with this disease. So when we use the technology to help us, we know we still can communicate with the people suffered this COVID-19. The people contracted with COVID-19, they know how to use technology to, the social media, to know the social media to the update the information from the CDCs. So I think many people learn how to get the information. So they can learn to how to help themselves and keep themselves more healthy. I think they already changed a lot of relationship.
Dr. Liu.
Oh, thanks for asking. But I think I have 3 points that I have to consider about this one. The first one will be measure the temperature. I mentioned about the head watch, right? We have a watch to detect your body temperature that is designed in our university. Today I mentioned about university a lot, but university they developed this one is for dengue fever. But now we have a COVID-19 one, so they use this for monitor. I saw a lot of staff, especially infectious specialists, they put a watch every day. So we can have a lot of data to monitor them. That will be one of the issues that have been changed. And second one will be the masks. One of my colleagues who come from America, he told me that when he visited here, 2012, I think it's 12. So when he arrived our airport, the one who welcomed him is not a human one, it's a temperature monitoring. So at that time, when he visited the hospital, he found that everybody used masks in Taiwan. But this is not usual in American, in a European one. So I think he also get used to this behavior. So in the future, I think not only Taiwan, but also the European, American, they will get used to the mask when you have a common cold one. And finally, I think there'll be, I think the telemedicine or the teleconference will be very popular. Even though there is no pandemic one, I think that this is a good chance for IoT and some kind of computer system. I think, I don't know, Dr. Lee knows it or not, so we have a lot of meetings that use the teleconference. So I think there will be a trend. So 3 things that definitely will be the trend.
So I think our industry have heard the change and expectation from the medical societies. So what's your response? Are you ready for the change?
Yeah, I think truly, just like Dr. Liu mentioned, that it's a good opportunity using the telemedicine, using the IoT. So we do talk about a lot of the solution and still have more. And not only from us, Taiwan have a lot of very great idea booming. But our idea is we should try to use this technology more wisely and more bravely. For example, some of the rule they need to pass the TFDA, need to follow some condition, but in the period of time of the COVID, it's all not the first condition. So it's a very special period of time, but it's also the opportunity. We need to use all new technology because this is our very good advantage from Taiwan. So more wisely, more bravely, I think that's our suggestion and idea.
Mr. Liu?
I think everyone to know this year is a virus year, right? So I think virus in everywhere from now, okay? And everyone, just I said that the virus attack not only in our body, it's attack our heart. So from now, most of people, we are take more self-protection from this moment, okay? So how to let everyone to take more relax and to go back our before the very close the social relationship, I think that's impossible. That's impossible because the virus anywhere, okay, and just trigger our heart, okay. So I think from the next step, we have to take a more deep considering about how to use and how to improve for our medical IoT the solution in all of the environment, humidity, okay, to the sun, especially for the friendly the user experience, okay, implement in our heart to do the some sales protection. I think is most important for us right now. Yep.
Okay, and I just got two questions from maybe from United States or maybe from India, and the first one is about when implant of the AI X-ray, as mentioned by Dr. Liu, we use the X-ray for the early diagnosis to pick up the suspect case of the COVID-19 infection. How doctors and engineers to collaborate with each other in order to achieve this goal?
Well, this is a very important one. You know, physician and engineer, they talk with different languages. Do you agree with that? So when I talk about pneumonia, the engineer didn't know what is pneumonia one. So our system actually is developed during the AI center in our NCKU. Initially, they tried to have an AI image on the tuberculosis. This is a TB in the lung. So the success lead us to go to the pneumonia one when we have a COVID-19 infection. But when we apply the model to our pneumonia one, it failed. It's only 50%. That means, this is by chance. 50% means you say wrong, but it's true. So it's not so it's only 50%. So we have to discuss between physician and engineering. First time we tell them about what is pneumonia patch there, and you have to labeling all the pneumonia patch one by one. So hand by hand, I think the engineer and the physician, they discuss all day long. So they try to labeling all the X-rays. So I think they need to discuss. And that is why our accuracy rate finally raised up to like 80 or 90%. They will have more comfortable for physician to trust the result is good. And we still keeping on the pneumonia diagnosis, especially for COVID-19 one. There's a little bit different for the COVID-19 and the traditional pneumonia. So we need to improve the accuracy by discussion with technician and also the physicians.
Can you release how the accuracy now for your new generation AI
so as
system?
I know, it's 92%.
Oh, 92. That is very good. Actually, for every 100 cases, there are at least 92 cases are just this right diagnosis.
So the initial, because the case number didn't have enough one.
Yeah.
But gradually they have more and more open sources data, so they increase the sensitivity.
Yeah. So your audience from the other country, maybe you can use the system because it's already online, right?
Right.
Yeah. You can post your case onto the system to train, also to get some information feedback from the system. And for next question is for Dr. Chen. And this is very important. Maybe it's a question from a hospital manager. Because when hospitals in Taiwan adopt so many new technology in against of the COVID-19, is there any allocation or any change of the medical personnel? That means that maybe means that maybe you can decrease some manpower, right? Because you already have technology. Or what's your experience?
Yeah. I have to say we make the system more efficiency. Because in the past, before introduce, for example, wearable devices, our staff spend a lot of time to know the condition of the patients. But now they can get real-time information, so they still can keep in touch with the patients, but they do not to change the dressing, going to the walls. Even they take a lot of time, but they still cannot contact with them so much. But use technology, they can just contact with them in any times, and we can get the information. to get the real-time information. So for our nursing station, they can reduce the manpower loading when they the shift to the conditions. So I have to say, we make things more efficiency and reduce the loading of the patient, loading of the medical staffs.
I just want a quick comment. If you remember, 17 years ago, there are many medical personnel. They suffered the SARS and even died of SARS. But this time, you didn't hear any medical personnel, he or she got the COVID-19 in Taiwan. Because I think that's the part of the reason, in addition to the very good equipment of the PPE, I mean the personal protection, infection control, standard of the procedure, I think the information technology also play an important role. Because from the speakers presenting this afternoon, you know, Taiwan adopt many technology to protect our medical personnel. So because of good protection, all of the medical personnel, they feel more comfortable to treat patient and to take care of patient. So this is also a very important way to recruit our medical personnel under a very safe environment in practicing. So I think no one will leave. The manager will not lay off any person during the battle war to the COVID-19. So maybe the next question I think important is for all our speakers this afternoon is that there are so many technology we adopt for the past 4 years, 4 months, sorry, not 4 years. I hope only 4 months, not 4 years. And which one do you think is the most important? If you can recommend only one to our audience online, and which will do you recommend from Mr. Miao?
I think the most useful, suppose, is the dysfunction prevention system, because it's immediately help. It's very easy to deploy, and I believe it's not only in the hospital but also in the train station, the school. So how we gonna to have the very fast helping them to helping the resident, the citizens can prevent for the infection. So just like the prevention gate, we believe it's a very useful, important solution at this moment and also in the future.
Okay, Mr. Liu.
My suggestion at the point is in all the country, we have to build up like the medical platform here, the first, okay? Then most of the company or the patient, the hospital, they can use these kinds of medical at the country level, okay, or the country level, the medical, the IoT, the platform, okay, to access some kinds of most of the data, okay. Then all of the medical hospital can use this platform to do some experience like this, to improve the whole environment for the health care, health medical, telecare, these kinds of the functional to do the preventive 超前部署, okay, like this, yeah.
Yeah, early deployment, proactive strategies to the COVID-19. Mr. Chen.
Oh yes, I think there will be two important issues. The first one, through the information technology and the mobile technology, we can engage the patient into the healthcare team. It means we can provide the better quality care quality to the patients. And the second thing is that when we get the information from the patients, we can know the trends and the possibility of the diseases. It means that we can get an early warning system for the patient to provide the basic service to them. Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Liu.
I think I still favor my tablet computer. So 平板电脑. So this one is in this time I think is very convenient, and I was very impressed that we use this tablet computer instead of a cellular phone. That's probably because the tablet computer can be used by everyone here and there, and your personal cellular phone in our hospital, it's very weird that we have very strict security for the information. So we cannot use cell phone to log in like Dr. Chen used one. So in our hospital, if you have very security one, just within the hospital base, I think tablet computer solve me a lot of questions. And also they help me to collect many informations. And also we implement some voice box there. So we have a Taiwanese communication with the old elderly one. So I think it's a magic one. I like tablet computer most.
Yeah, I think I need to mention that we live in Taiwan is very lucky because we have not only very strong medical service, but also very strong ICT industry. But not all our audience are living like in a country like Taiwan. So what do we mention for our two hospitals? We already have the basic infrastructure for the networking, for the many infrastructure there. So when we face the challenge, we can build up our application system based on the very strong infrastructure. But one of our audience asked, what about if he or she live in a country or he or she visit a hospital not have such a very strong base system? So what do you recommend for them?
Okay, I think that's a good question because we saw Taiwan has very good IoT and even in hospital. So we think the IoT, ICT ability is normal. Because the Taiwan hospital, even the IT, they have the 100, 200 people. We developed the HIT system by the hospital in-house. It's amazing for some of the other countries, even United States. They use the third-party software. And we believe also some of the countries in Europe or Southeast Asia, they don't have this strong infrastructure. That's a key. The Wi-Fi system, if they don't, so we will recommend, maybe we can start from offline, then go to online. Some of the data collecting, they don't need to go to the cloud immediately. We can have the local server, we can have the local system to collect. Then we have the batch system to connecting. And also the system is developing step by step. So like our experience in Southeast Asia, they are not talking about inpatient. They are talking about outpatient right now. The queuing system is helping a lot. It's also helping a lot. So probably not so advanced. The very leading cutting edge solution like Taiwan. I think it's we can separate by the different phase and we can connecting from offline then go to the online. Yeah.
Because of the time frame, I need to call the day for this online workshop. But I think the last question is very good for the ending of this today, because you see, okay, we are lucky. We live here. We have a very strong medical system and ICT system. But I think there are more people that live in countries other than Taiwan. So maybe this is a good answer, actually a good solution. Actually, a good opportunity for Taiwan, because we need to combine all our experience here, not only for medical service, our need and our medical technology already adopted. We need to combine them like a total solution with different grade. One is maybe for those who already have very strong infrastructure, and the second is that they don't have anything. So we deal with a different solution. So this is an industry. So this is a good opportunity to combine both together. So this is I think that this is called a 2 billion system, 2 billion industry together. And so maybe that's good. Also, one of the purpose of today's international forum, because we just not want to let the other people envy Taiwan's what we already have. We want to share our experience. This event can be a part of our industry export to the other country during the COVID-19 or the post-COVID-19 year. And thank you for all your participation.
I don't understand, I'm sorry.
Okay, sure.
You are open to online audience, but not here.
Sorry, we have some audience. You can ask question.
You can ask the question.
I'm from Taipei City Hospital. I graduated from System Management Information System Department, and I was working I'm from Taipei City Hospital, long-term care center, and I was working in Child Services General Hospital as an orderly for 2.5 years, and as a caregiver for 5 years. And I think you should know, especially Jason, you should know what's an orderly, right? An orderly is like a transporter. And transporter is to deliver patients, or Chengdu Hospital should know that. My first question is, for example, my colleague's case, I'm a case manager, and my colleague's case, we are working for long-term care. And my client, we call that, my colleague's case is a grandpa who fell on the ground, and he couldn't get up until after 8 hours his son is home. And do you have any, for example, does Xiaobu have a projector? Does Xiaobu have a recorder? Second, that I was a caregiver for 5 years, and in Holland, in Finland, they still need a lot of caregivers home, but just it's a little bit from Taiwan's systems. But the point is the value of the caregivers, that they can help you to dress you. Some elderly cannot dress themselves, cannot comb themselves, cannot brush themselves. And do you have I don't see for in your PPT, in your presentation, the aged care is just a project, it's just a shadow on the bed. And is there any more function to help the elderly?
Okay. I think my understanding for the question is that even though we presented this term, there are some technology, but still there are some people, especially for the elders and they live in home or they are disabled, they cannot get the benefit from this technology. So maybe I think, is that correct? Yeah, okay. So maybe we can take a few time to respond. Yeah.
So I just respond one thing that we have developed in our hospital. Those elderly who fell down from the bed, we have some alarm system for the neurologist. So in a stroke center, we have a monitor for the falling down, and that will be some alert. But you still need personnel to take care of the geriatric.
We work from home. Right. We help them from home.
Okay.
I was in the hospital, I know.
Right. So there is an alarm system for those who try to go out of bed, but there is still some necessary that someone have to take care about it.
Actually, every year there are some on-site medical devices expo every year. But this year, because of COVID-19, so it was postponed to next year. Maybe next time you can see many new technology, for example, to prevent the falling down to the ground for those who are lying on bed because of stroke or for the elders. I know there are many new technology already in place for the elders and for the disabled. And this time we are online expo. Maybe you can also look at home later. Yeah. Thank you for your questions. So, because sorry. No, please.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you all speakers for sharing their valuable knowledge and experience. And once again, thank you very much for joining our multi-part live stream. That's all for today's event. We'll see you on July 22nd.